I'm Reverend Carla Christopher, Assistant to the Bishop in charge of Justice Ministries, part of the Lower Susquehanna Synod or Central Pennsylvania region in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, or ELCA. The Train in 10 video series allows us to answer your questions about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in 10 minutes or less, friendly and suitable for sharing and distribution in whatever way is faithful, helpful, and useful for you. You can always submit questions or things you'd love us to find a national expert to answer by contacting us through our website, www.lss-elca.org, and we can turn your question into an informational video. This month's question is, what is Kwanza? And is there a way to incorporate that into our church and community celebrations that are faith-based? Well, the answer to the second part of that question is yes. Kwanza is a uniquely American holiday that was developed by Dr. Ron or Maulana Karenga and was first celebrated in 1966. It was meant to connect African American or Black families to some of the African roots and traditions, particularly from various parts of West and Southeast Africa, where many enslaved populations are believed to be from. The word Kwanza is derived from a phrase that means first fruits, and it has 7 letters, K-W-A-N-Z-A-A, to represent the 7 days that Kwanza is celebrated, from December 26th through January 1st. It is a secular or non-religious holiday, but it is absolutely not meant to be a substitute for Christmas, and absolutely can be incorporated into whatever faith traditions African American families, community members, and their friends and allies would like to combine it with. Dr. Karenga does have a book written about Kwanza where he specifically addresses ways that we can incorporate Kwanza into multiple religious, cultural, or community traditions. So how do we celebrate and honor Kwanza? Well, this tradition and celebration of culture has nightly ceremonies. Each evening of the 7 days, the Kinara, or a Kwanza candle holder, is lit. The first candle on the first day, and then alternating each night until all 7 candles are lit. When those candles are lit, the 7 virtues that build and empower community are discussed. Gifts can be exchanged that uplift those gifts. Activities, games, or community discussions, cultural sharings of poetry or music, all that uplift those traditions are shared and exchanged. And then on the final day, the karamu, or a communal feast, is celebrated. Now, where exactly did Kwanza come from? Well, the Swahili phrase matunda ya Kwanza is what actually means first fruits. You see, in the Southern Hemisphere, the southern solstice is celebrated where the first fruits are actually coming in. So even though here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's particularly chilly when Kwanza is celebrated, this helps us remember that this is the time of year when seeds are planted, when light returns to the world. So we not only remember, as we remember the birth of Christ being the herald of great ministry, salvation, healing, and wholeness for all people, Kwanza also helps us remember that even in the most shadowed of days, what can be cold, grief-ridden, or discouraging times for some, those fruits will come. And we remember ways that we can build community to support and develop and empower each other so that those fruits can become part of our communities, our residential communities, and also our faith community. So what are those 7 principles that I mentioned? Well, the first is umoja, or unity. That's about striving for and maintaining community and a sense of family and partnership. And certainly, doesn't that play into our faith community? The need for understanding that we are all part of the body of Christ. We can do intentional activities that join us in a sense of built community. Service and caring for each other, ministry and outreach, the way that we support our members are all part of umoja. The second day is kujichagulia, or self-determination. How do we define and name ourselves? This is a wonderful time for congregations to revisit mission and vision statements, core values, and strategic plans, to dream about what does it mean to be an intentional community of faith. What does it mean to be relevant and connected to our community? What does it mean to be specifically and intentionally inclusive of our African descent or Black American members and neighbors? The third day is ujima, collective work and responsibility. How do we build and maintain our community together and make our siblings' problems our problems to solve? This is truly the love your neighbor as yourself day, and not just from a philosophical perspective, but making sure that we're taking tangible efforts to connect with our siblings around the globe. This is a wonderful day for donations, for connecting with global ministry or congregational or synodical partners, thinking about things like in Lower Susquehanna Synod, our Healing Justice Fund, or our Condi Diocese partnership with the churches in Tanzania. Is there a way that you can focus on giving back or involving yourself more actively with mission and ministry partners? The fourth day is ujamaa, cooperative economics. How do we build and maintain our own stores, shops, businesses, financially sustainable ministries, and how do we profit together with the fruits of those labors? Now, in our congregations, we can often work in silos, but if we partner together, joined and shared ministry, think about how great our outreach could be and how much stronger our impact in our community. Nia, the fifth day, is purpose, our collective vocation. How are we building community that really shares that gospel message? What is your purpose as a church? What is your reason to exist? Well, and Kuumba, day 6, creativity. That inspires you to do as much as you can to live into that purpose. This can be a wonderful opportunity for artistic expressions, everything from hymn sings to dance, poetry, reading the poems of the Bible, Psalms, and Song of Solomon. But it can also be about brainstorming and visioning creative methods of outreach and community connection. Imani is the 7th day, and that's faith. I think that tie is deeply self-evident. How do we share in struggle and in the quest for liberation? How do we practice grace with each other? And how does our faith inform all of our actions, activities, practices, policies, and procedures? You may not be ready to start an equity audit on New Year's Day, but we can really emphasize how our faith informs our justice journey and justice work. Now, there are several other symbols and traditional ways that Kwanza is celebrated. Placing the kanara on top of a makeka, or a woven mat, and surrounding it with vegetables, fruits, other symbols of first fruit. We also can exchange zawadi or gifts, or combine our resources to offer those zawadi to others. It may be a time to collect things from your congregation, socks and underwear, canned goods, so that those can be passed forward. There is also a unity cup, the kikombe cha umoja, which many folks might use a chalice or other similar cup, so that we can give shukrani or thanks to those who have gone before us, all our partners in communion, and to God. Sharing in the unity cup is often practiced as part of that final meal on the last day. However you celebrate Kwanza, however you share it in your youth ministry, as part of faith formation, or as a community ritual where you are able to invite African descent churches, partner with African American or Black organizations such as the NAACP or youth centers or other outreach organizations. This is a great opportunity to educate and to build relationships. Wherever you are, whatever your race, creed, national origin, country, or culture, I pray that you have a joyous Kwanza and that you take this time to reflect on the many contributions from Jehu Jones through all the other wonderful Black ministers, rostered leaders, hymn writers, philosophers, theologians, teachers, and congregational supports that are a vibrant and vital part of our contemporary ELCA and Christian community. We benefit deeply from the wisdom of our Black and brown siblings. And on Kwanza, we can remember the importance of being intentional in going outside of our German or historical or habitual roots to find heart moments, expressive moments, and teachable or learning moments that come from other cultures. So if someone greets you with Habari Gani, meaning what is the news, remember to answer them, Joyous Kwanza.